I can't really argue with you there. But, did you notice it didn't say dogmatic to kill him? It just lets you do whatever you want there. It was like, yeah, that's fine. I actually don't even know his class. I know he likes running in with a sword, but that's it. So he could be like warrior, assassin. Probably not. No, he wouldn't be a blade dancer because he existed before blade dancers were added. Where is he? Marizai Azirayaresh stares down at you from his formidable height, his head slightly tilted to one side. The lean, wiry Xenos is encased in black armor. Not even a sliver of a gap has been left between the tightly fitting plates, which bristle with mutely gleaming barbs and hooks. Set in a white face, striated with crimson tattoos, dark eyes devour you, burning with predatory, malevolent interest. I want to know what happened before you took me to Kamarog.
You want to know how and to what end I orchestrated
voice
all
acting.
of this? Ask your questions.
Why did you kidnap me?
When Irimaris ordered us to lay waste to the monkey settlements, Tazara and I encountered resistance. I have hunted your kin too long not to notice how well you in particular were fending off our attacks. The rout in Tazara's arena, the appearance at the plundered vessel. Your kind are usually powerless against us, but not on that occasion. I began to suspect that you could not have managed it without outside help. Help from our side. I began sending out spies and assassins. My eyes and ears infiltrated your vessel, your cities, and they discovered a trail that led back to one of your worlds. A trail that ended with a burned monkey, the source of the information about where and when my cabal was going to strike. A little trickery to draw you away from the planet. And I had your little informant in my grasp. How the information was reaching his agents, the burned monkey himself did not even know. But based on the units involved and other details, it was clear. No monkey in real space could have gathered such specifics about raid complements and objectives. No, it was inconceivable. The information was being fed to you by my own kind, and I knew who. Irimaris Aziriesh, Archon of the Reaving Tempest, my former mistress. A cowardly bitch who punishes anyone who threatens her grip on power. I knew that to win a war against her, I would need the support of the Reaving Tempest's patron, the Cabal of the Black Heart. So I allied with Nazrake, who presided over the trial. I promised him that Irimaris would be humiliated. I promised him evidence. A lowly monkey that would disgrace Irimaris in the eyes of the Archons. For that performance, I needed you.
You have spies aboard my ship?
Of course. If I'm not mistaken, you met the infiltrator yourself. A Cabalite who left a lava from Tavantius in one of the monkey. Or did you never work out the reason for the treachery during the raid on your ship so long ago now? Then there is no need for me to mention the sleeper agents hidden on your world.
Cabalite who left a larva from Tervantius in one of the Monkey. Who was that? What agreement did you make with Nazarkai?
Overthrowing an Archon is far from easy, even one who has already tarnished her reputation. Every member of a Cabal has their supporters, and Irimaris is no exception. Nazrake promised me a sham trial in the Obsidian Court with a predetermined outcome. Irimaris should have been convicted and dethroned. I was supposed to take her place and turn the Reaving Tempest into a loyal vassal of the Black Heart. Nazrake was supposed to be the axe that fell on her neck. But it fell on mine instead. It was devious and worthy of praise, but why? A secret pact with Irimaris, or is there another reason? I will tear the answer from his throat along with his final breath. It must be said that Nazrake did not have to try very hard to turn the court against me. Not after the stunt you pulled before the assembled Archons.
The stunt that I pulled. I mean, you guys tried to, like, drug me and get answers out of me, and I just resisted it. I don't know that I did anything too crazy there. The tribunal. What was that about? I was being tried by the Inquisitor, and Heinrichs and Theodora were there. Why? I mean, we know that we were doped up on drugs. They weren't really there.
Who? I have no idea what you saw in your stupor. The homunculus' creature does not elicit specific images. It muddles your mind, forcing it to paint suitable pictures evoking confusion or fear. Neither Tavantius nor I care about fussy monkey rituals. The lava must have created a suitable environment for you. One in which you would be more willing to answer my questions in the Obsidian Court.
What were you and Tazara doing in my protectorate?
What do any of my kind do in real space? We were reaping. Kamara was clamoring for meat. The Dark City had suffered losses in the latest disjunction. We needed sources of sweet pain to prime its minds and bodies. When the Archon bade my cabal collect the harvest from the region, I did not suspect that it would turn into this game between you and me.
Let's see. Maybe everyone just give up already. Anyone who still stays on your ship is already a heretic too, or just doesn't care anymore. Lol. Cap says, you mind if I annoy you for a minute with yours too related bullcrap, or would you prefer me to fornicate off and come back tomorrow? No, go for it. Go. You can ask anything you want, Cap. You and Yeliad conspiring together. How did that come about?
Conspiring? No. There was no plot between us. She merely rushed to my bait. At first, I planned to use the one you trusted, the burned monkey with whom we had spent long hours awaiting your arrival. But my cousin was so swift. Afterward, she tracked down the monkey, killed him, and took the device that he had been using to contact me.
Wait, Skullander's dead? Last I heard, he was alive. Like, we saved him from getting tortured and sent him off with a med team.
She told me what she had seen in your chambers. A piece of her home, destroyed, twisted beyond recognition, reduced to a trophy on a wall. Yes, that was the breaking point for her. The final drop in a deep well of doubt, dispelling her naive trust of Monkey once and for all. And then she came seeking answers from her dark cousin. I did not ask her to hand you over to me. No, doing that would have made my poor cousin doubt herself even more than she was already. I simply told her where to seek out the traces of her craft world and the answers to her questions. A favor for a kinswoman, nothing more. And then I made ready for your arrival.
And then he set up the trap.
For the only way she would reach
the
that
gas
place
trap
was with you.
I cannot believe that Achilles betrayed humanity.
When a monkey is left alone with me and my art of pain, I plunge them into a deep well of suffering from which they will do anything to escape. Your kind have fragile souls. Your convictions and principles are a delusion that lends a mirage of meaning to your lives. Achilles and I had plenty of time alone together before your arrival. When he went out to meet you, he was already mine. I bought his loyalty with a promise to never touch his body or his mind ever again.
And what do you know about Yeliat's craft world?
I know it exists. I know that my cabal found it, helpless and stationary, unable to protect its sons and daughters. I know that Iliad's kin began showing up as prisoners in the Reaving Tempest Spire, where they were fonts of exquisite, delightful pain. I spent too much time beyond the limits of our home to learn more than that. But that was enough to tempt Iliad with false hope.
Tell her the truth, now.
We've already had words. I have no reason to conceal the truth now. Iliad has outlived her usefulness to me. Watching her face as she learned the truth was priceless.
I gotta say, the voice actor for this guy is doing a phenomenal job. What were those creatures with you when you captured me? Those fell hunter looking things?
Mandrakes. A foul breed that lurks in the bowels of Camorra. Their ability to find paths through the shadows was put to good use. I promised them forbidden trophies from the Reaving Tempest's coffers once I am Archon.
He hesitates and then gestures to indicate that he has finished speaking. You made a promise to the mandrakes that you cannot keep. Are you afraid of retribution?
Let them come for what they're owed. They will regret it.
Despite his self-assured words, concern brings a furrow to Marazai's brow. The theft of Rykad's son, was that your doing?
Did you not hear me when I answered you the first time? I do not like to repeat myself.
I don't think we talked about that topic.
Then what else do you need?
What happened to you after the trial?
I was handed over to the witch cult to do with as they wished. First, they made me fight the dregs in the arena, and then, once they'd had their fill of my debasement, I was granted entry into the blood-stained proselytes.
What did you hope to gain by agreeing to become a proselyte?
The continuation of my existence. When I lost my standing, I became fair game for anyone tempted by the prospect of slaying a disgraced Cabalite. For vengeance, or just for the pleasure of the kill. In Camorra, a lone Drakari is a target. My talents may be prodigious, but I held no illusions about my chances.
You did not find much favor among the witches, it seems.
You cannot hope to understand the intricacies of Camorra and how it is structured. We are all each other's allies and worst enemies here. Towers of strength and duplicitous traitors both. The cults have always been half a step below the cabals in the hierarchy. And the witches relished the chance to abuse someone who once looked down on them.
Okay, let's see. Captain Crabface at Guild Wars 2 a comment. He says, since the last patch, Heal Berserker no longer needs to enter Berserk whatsoever to upkeep all necessary boons, which is plus 90% stability and Aegis upkeep, while out healing extremely threatening aura. Without needing to upkeep Rage, Heal Berserker has lower APM and is more flexible than before, though still unable to upkeep Vigor. I ran my own test, but my expertise in support builds is lacking. Huh. That sounds pretty cool. Yeah, it's... yeah, as you know, I don't main Warrior. The last time I tried Heal Berserker, one of my big complaints was the APM was through the roof. Like, I remember I said I thought it was viable, especially with Warrior Staff. But, yeah, it was very button-mashy at the time. That will do.
If our conversation is finished...
He impatiently clicks his fingers. When given the chance to join me, you took it readily. That surprised me.
I had no intention of ending my days playing the role of meat in the arena. And then you blithely offered me an alliance after what I'd done to you. Why?
I require help to escape from Kamarog.
So our interests align. For now.
Tell me about Kamarog. I kind of, like, I've never had this guy on the team before. I've always just killed him, so I've never seen any of this.
The Dark City is the bastion of the Drukhari, the most magnificent of all our strongholds. The Cabals, witch cults, and the Incubi inhabit the place, with swarms of scourges flying overhead and a myriad of misfits and horrors, including the covens of the homunculi wallowing underfoot. Which do you want to know about?
You are from a Drukhari Cabal, correct?
The Cabals are the foundation upon which rests the power of the one who rules Camorra, Hasdrubal Vect. Whether it is a mob of berserkers or an organized cartel, their essence is the same. An army of killers, ready to ravage entire worlds at the behest of their leaders. Or to rip out the throats of a neighboring cabal in a war declared by the Archons.
Let's see. Berserker APM is about 10% lower, and it now has one free utility slot, thank heavens, but still no supportive main hand, and still needs to weapon swap off cooldown Sag. Yeah, there's a lot of builds, support builds that have to weapon swap off cooldown, and I always dislike that, which I guess we agree on since you said Sag. It's kind of like the new Necromancer staff, right? The 5 button is stability for the team. Fantastic. But if you have to weapon swap off cooldown, then you don't have that stability on demand. You have it on demand 50% of the time. So I very much prefer when you just weapon swap when you need to, not as like part of the rotation. But some classes can afford to not do that, and some have to. I wish to know more about the witch coats.
What more do you need to know that you have not already beheld with your own eyes? They are the mistresses of the arenas, and they're the gladiators who feed the audience in their ravenous agony with exquisite spectacles. Cults often travel to real space on the Cabal's raids to revel in the pain and to capture fresh meat for their arenas.
And what are the Incubi orders?
The aloof Incubi. They dedicate their lives to the art of killing, so much so that they do not plot or chase after delicious torment. All their hatred and longing for suffering are channeled toward perfecting their skill.
And tell me about the Scourgers.
Winged Drukhari, who have chosen to go through an agonizing process to become such a monstrosity. They escort raiding ships and inflict the first strike on the enemy. In Camorra, these creatures huddled in flocks so that they do not fall victim to the more formidable of their kin.
And the homunculi covens?
Artists of the flesh who prefer to hide away in their laboratories and create nightmares from the materials their servants supply. Engines of pain, grotesques, racks, all are the fruits of their subtle craft.
That'll do. Let's see. That said, from my initial analysis, it appears that support Paragon might be a downgrade from Heel Zerker, which, to put it lightly, it worries me. Yeah, it's definitely going to be like a, well, you know, we'll have to see when we get to test it. It was in like what, two or 3 weeks we'll get to test it out. Hopefully they fix that one bug that you caught that we were talking about on X. But yeah, we'll see. Hopefully, if they do make something that's just a downgrade in support, they're like, oh shoot, whoops, and then they make some tweaks to it. Anux in the Moon says, how are you liking this game? I have it, and I played it to Act 2, but since I just do not like mecha and guns, I stopped, but watching you is kind of giving me an itch to at least try it. I really enjoy it. I will add, if you don't really like guns and stuff, you can have a party that doesn't use them. Like, there's a whole line of melee stuff. There's the companion builds, like this robot dog. There's psychers, which are basically space wizards. The guns are an option, but not a requirement. Any thoughts on how we can escape this place?
On a mountain of bodies, bathing in our enemies' tears and blood. Do not deceive yourself by thinking we will escape this place alive without violence. I, for one, hope that there will be plenty of it. But there is one unfortunate detail. An Arabenian has stepped into your path. One of Kegarak's tribe,
the Harlequin?
who lurk in the tangle of the webway. I've heard them called Harlequins in your tongue. The one that appeared in the Obsidian Court is the most dangerous and unpredictable of all. I'm beginning to think that his visit is a sign that the events unfolding around us have not been left to chance. Perhaps they are the result of interference, at the behest of the highest authority. Do not keep me waiting too long. My weapon is tired of languishing in its sheath.
There he is. Warrior Assassin Exemplar. Not really surprised by the assassin thing. Alright. Fainting attack. Vice versa, R2, which is at the end of the assassin's turn. Let's get that. While bleeding, Marizai gains additional armor. While bleeding, every kill he makes grants him stacking +5 bonus to weapon and ballistic skill. What? Huh. Hi, Makai Chat. Hi, Mr. Matty Man. Let's see. Professional acumen? Let's see, 45, 70... Demolition. That's the Lore Xenos. Let's see. Thanks to feedback. Yeah, I do remember Psychers are Wizard Source Mages, and there's melee, but since I play on the hardest setting, the game, I'll force you to go guns and range, but it's been a long time, so they might have changed a lot of things. Well, okay, so my first time playing through the game, I played it on the hardest setting, and I didn't really have an aversion to guns. Definitely don't feel like it was required, though. There's a lot of talents where it's like, every time you do a certain thing, you get like a stacking buff, and it stacks infinitely. Those are pretty crazy. Like, for example, there's a talent for the Navigator, Cassia. Every time she gets a kill, she gains 5 willpower, which is like more spell power. So if you just have her focus on the weaker targets in a fight, she ramps up really hard, and she's basically a wizard, right? There's... What else do we got? Jay, every time she gives someone an extra turn in range of her servo skull, the skull gets like stacking bonuses and keeps getting stronger. There's one for Yearlyet involving sniping. You wouldn't want that one because that's gun. Pascal has one for every time he attacks the same target repeatedly, he gets stacking bonuses. But anyway, that kind of thing would be what I would go for. And again, the Overseer class added to the game adds pet options. Like, you could have a character whose entire build is based around remote controlling the robot dog and have it attacking things, or the robot eagle. I say robot, but they're more like cyborgs. But yeah, I could definitely see you getting around without using the guns. Now, I often have someone, like at least one of my 6 people as a gun specialist, just for taking out like the enemy snipers that are sometimes like really far away. But it's not required. Assassin bonus damage. a sec. Let's get more movements always. Alright, toughness, strength, 45, do. Strength, I guess. Fellowship and willpower increased by 15. It will not die. More hit points. Dispatch. Till the end of combat, whenever the assassin hits an opening, they gain temp wounds. Let's do that. Alright, Exemplar. Where's the... Wait, what is this? Invincibility. Oh. Flesh wounds, basically regeneration. Let's get that. So, like, here's another thing. While bleeding, every kill you get gives you stacking of +5 to weapon skill. So, like, if you've got a fight and there's a big guy and little targets, have him focus on the little targets first, and by the time he gets to the big guy, he's going to be hitting like a truck because of the stacking bonuses. Like, these kind of things always make me perk up a bit, and I'm just like, oh, I want to get that. Anything where time is kind of working in my favor. Athletics. Aldari equipment. Each use of aim for the opening on the same target reduces their dodge and dodge reduction by 10%. Stacks. Take that. Let's get agility. Aldari equipment might give us some interesting options. Okay. So this is him. So what's he start with? He starts with a two-handed clave, a one-hand venom blade, and a poison pistol. Incubus armor. Battle-scarred mantle. When the wearer ends their turn, they remove burning, bleeding toxin from all adjacent allies. Then the wearer inflicts 10 levels of bleeding on all adjacent enemies. That's kind of cool. Each melee attack performed by the wearer increases their armor by 8% until the start of the next turn. That reminds me of those Klingon swords from Star Trek. What do they call it? Like Bok-Teth or Bok-Leth, something like that? The Drakari guy joined you? Yep. Made a deal with the devil. When the wearer blocks, dodges, or parries an attack, momentum plus 10. No graphic for that because it doesn't fit him. If the wearer is an assassin and successfully dodges or parries an enemy attack, it automatically creates an additional opening on that enemy on the side closest to the wearer. That might be better for him than the one he's currently got. If the wearer kills an enemy or scores a critical hit, they get +5 lethality until end of combat. I don't know if that stacks, but we're gonna try it. Persuasion. If less than half health, every second attack is automatically dodged for 2 rounds. That's better than nothing. Batleth, I hate that I know that. Let's see. Oh, I missed some of the captain's messages.